Okay. Jumping right in, I'm just picking up on the NeoPixels uh, RGB LEDs because it can actually do dot stars as well. So where I left off last time, we had just implemented the first animation. This out of the way. And I did end up doing a tiny bit more at some point since the last stream, or exactly when I did this, but I did some tricks for dynamically importing the animation. So this is what I had actually done on stream, which was kind of the most basic case where it was like import the animation, make a dictionary of just a key that maps to, essentially what is the constructor to create one of those objects, a blank object, and in this case is the one that we set up. Put this one over here. Okay. Oh. And so this was pretty easy. You just send it the string and then it's able to import and create, or I mean, it already has imported and it's able to initialize and create an instance of that class. In this case, it's an animation class. This would all be down inside of a knit animation. It is different now, though. This would have been the old one. You were grabbing it off of that animation strip map. Is that right? It's not calling the constructor, though. Strip ID. Might not have the old version anymore, actually. Might have overwritten the old version already. Like it. The new one uses this technique, though, to dynamically import it based on these strings that essentially contain the pathway that leads to that particular module. So, like, when you're importing this, you would import, like from A to Fidelity animation dot blink import capital B blink. That's how the import would work. And so what we have is like call this import, which I didn't know existed, but turned out to be what we want to do this on this part of this. So we pass this string into that double underscore import, and then from there we can use getAttr in order to work our way down to the specific things, including all the way down to the constructor. So we go import the base module, then we need to get inside of the animation module, then we need to go inside of the specific module, like blink, the lowercase blink like this. And then once we're in there, that's finally when we can... that is this one, and so then the next one is the constructor. It's able to getAttr and that's where it grabs the capitalized version in order to get the constructor, and then this function returns that so that the code down here can in turn call this constructor function here. Pass it all the stuff on behalf of the HTTP request. And the upside of this is that it should now work without needing this import here, which means that essentially we only have to import the animations as they get initialized. We won't import any animations that we're not using. Comment this for now. Okay, this one's still checking the old dictionary, but that's fine. We can just update that to check the new one, which is this. Need.key. So it is still limited to the ones that exist inside the dictionary. So we do still need to go and like add the proper strings for all of these. But then after that, it should be able to import them only when it needs to, only when they've been initialized. Fire it up. I've not actually tested it since I removed this and took out the import just a second ago. Stuff, so make sure. This one. That's gonna initialize the strip. No. It's gonna initialize the strip, then it's gonna initialize the animation. It's gonna start the animation. That's blinking. We are indeed good. So basically we want to add some more things. We'll grab a time maybe. Also turn the pixels off now by still. Yeah. Row work. Oh, let's see. Interesting. Crashed. Good. And that started. Running the one that it's or would do. So the other thing is we could also eventually do some of these things like groups or sequences. Let's get some more. So we have blink. Blink is actually a kind of color cycle, so we may as well do color cycle as well. Defaults to rainbow. So this one would basically be like this. Color cycle. One well. Start with just for color cycle, it's defaulting to rainbow. We'll just leave it for that the first time. Speed, pixel object, name. So yeah, I'm just gonna start calling them D6 and M. That way we don't have to change that from script to script. This will change. Cycle on D6 will be the same. I'm gonna take color out for now so that it just does rainbow. Okay. I don't. I saved this file and it caused this to re. That's weird because this is not on this. Why something got written. Device causing it to reboot. Seeing required argument color. Required. No color there. Separate check here. Should not have this probably. if that's going to be required, it should be in here. The tricky bit, though, is I guess it might be required for some... This one, it's color as a required argument. But we should catch that when we try to initialize the animation. And then response from it. That way, only ones that are actually required end up being required. Color. As we call you do that if color is in there. Reference assignment for a little bad, but I guess we can just do this and then basically have another one of these. Maybe we should put it back into Quarks? I don't remember why I got it back off of Quarks. The other thing I thought about is technically we support multiple pins, right? Like right now I have NeoPixels connected to one pin only, or I guess technically there's one built into the board connected to a different pin, but other than that, that's all I have. But right now I'm just using mode as like global. There's just one mode. Realistically, what we need is one mode per pin that's been initialized, because you could have this NeoPixel strip in animation mode and another NeoPixel strip in regular pixels mode, both in animation or whatever. Means also we need a list of currently running animations, whereas right now what we have is a single one. Got back. So D6 anim. Alright, this one to just copy. Here we go. So now we got a nice color cycle through the row. Camera out a little bit. Fill to turn it off. So we should also be able to initialize a different one. If we duplicated this and made it comet. Oh, but that's the same animation ID that already exists. Okay, let's make sure it fails then. Nice. Seeing. Oh, wait, 13. Okay, so Comet has more required arguments. Oh, and that says positional argument as well, actually. Speed, color are both required. Here. Guess we're gonna have to have something like args. That is a list. Well, wait a minute. We already have speed. Wait, yeah, this will work. We just need to put them in. It's a bummer that it doesn't tell you the name of it, huh? Or if that's zero based. Clear, but we should clear the quarks out before we also. Oh. So we can't check this the next time because this is different. To be if color. Does work as long as you include all the right arguments, but there's different arguments required for different animations. So do we want to make this API layer smart enough to know that and actually like return useful errors? Because you would never know like error number 4, or I mean argument, missing position argument number 4, without looking at the actual animation. I don't see a way that you'd ever know. That you're missing. Comment. A green pixel? Hmm. So green in there. It's kind of slow. Be nice to be able to update it after the fact, huh? Because I'm pretty sure if we did like a dot speed equals, could update it. We try to be a little bit more generic though and make like, oh, it's the wrong way. If I edit code in here, it's not gonna run. Thing here called not start animation, but call it set prop animation. Animation set prop. There we go. So we say animation, the animation we're interested in, set prop. We want a set property on this animation, which is an if we don't have that animation, then we turn an error. The other thing we'll have is required argument of things. It's going to be animation set up. Have two required arguments, which is the property name, then the property value. This could just have name and value, I suppose. Saved yet, but so that's going to check for those required arguments. At the end of it, we're going to be left with rec data, and we're going to be guaranteed that it has a name and a value. With that, we're going to try to pull up the animation by going context, animations, ID. And we want to set a property on this, but you actually go like set prop. Set adder object rec data name. I want to catch the error of like that attribute doesn't exist, but I don't know what kind of error it's going to be. Okay, let's try it and then we'll see it crash. Set prep. So we should be able to like pass this with name speed value equals new speed in order to speed up the commit, for instance. So and it should be able animation set. No, animation, the one we want. Property. I think it's 0.25 to start with, so I'll put it like that, and it's 1.5 times faster. It's sped up, but I forgot to put a return statement, so it didn't return a response, and therefore it's mad. I'm gonna return a success response here. And truthfully, we also want to try it on a property that doesn't exist. That way, we'll see what exception is going to be. Pixels, animation, start the animation. Up. Load up again. Faster now. Mega fast. But let's do something that doesn't exist, like isn't, oh well, it just like sets the property, right? You don't have to have a property. So I guess we want to probably be calling get property first. Does get property raise an exception if you don't have it? Is that or? Okay, that makes this easier actually. Then we go if hasAdder animation name. That means we won't actually have an exception. Else, then we will return the error. Data name. Property. Start prop with bad prop, invalid property to it. This one also has some optional things here, like bounce. Try passing bounce true. Tail length. It divided by 4. And okay, second, I got this over here for a minute. So let's pass bounce and then a different tail length. Let's see. We should be able to change those as well actually here, so bounce. This one's good. I've lighted it now. Do we have the brightness very, very low? What's the brightness on? Actually. Okay. Yeah, see the thing is that we were on much less bright, and some of the neopixels, it tries to put like, tries to be bright at the beginning of the comet and dim at the end of the comet. I forget about, but that's what it's doing. How the tail length. Waits to the stand. Oh, well, we've been getting invalid properties, so that's never actually been changing. So for one thing, I've just looks like tail length doesn't exist. It's a an argument in the constructor. But it doesn't have a property. Put into underscore tail length. Theoretically, you could do that if you were feeling extra spicy. Let's do that. Honestly, it might not actually be, like, maybe it only gets taken into account in the constructor. So maybe we can't really update it like this. Maybe this is not actually doing anything. Yeah, most likely not, honestly. Supported types. Oh, right, because it's the color. Or if it has a color property. I guess it does, because it went. Somehow we'll have to reconcile the fact some of them I think can take lists of colors. Alright. Let's pick one more. I think we'll do one more and then I'll head out for the night. Add a few more of these and mull over the differences between them and start turning around figuring out what kind of problems we're going to run into. We try to keep it dynamic like this without the goal being basically I'm trying to write this code to not know about the different animations any more than it has to. And then we'll essentially just rely on whatever is implementing the API. Need to kind of know which properties the animation it's doing has and stuff. So you'll have to research that a little bit. But we do want to make it not, we don't want it to like crash. So it should be good at giving you back errors. Hopefully point you in the right direction of getting the right kinds of arguments and properties set. So there's rainbow, let's save that. Go in here. As the pixels. As the animation, we're gonna make a new one for rainbow. Using a color. Ooh. Assume it will have speed. So one thing is I think the brightness has come into effect here again where we're seeing like very distinct red, green, blue. I suspect that that's a brightness thing. If we get a bit more room, I think it will, yeah, it'll have a bit more of the in-between colors. Truthfully, the camera is probably a bit overwhelmed, so I don't know how well. I mean, you can see the glow changing, I guess, at this point, but almost need like, sure, what I need. A paper or something on top. Now the lines are much less defined. Probably it's like the speed, I assume. We're getting like much more fine chunks. Interesting. It's like changing the colors at the same rate, but now it's pausing for longer in between each one. Like the overall like time from blue to red I think is the same, but with the higher speed it was like longer pauses. Now it's shorter pauses. The overall speed was not the same. Super. Just kind of smooths it out, I guess. Smooths it out. Interesting. Cool. All right. Actually, maybe one thing to try before I get up for the night. I don't know if this will work. Let's see. Oh, you know, I missed a Twitch follower the other day. End of Life 120 followed on Twitch last time I streamed. Totally did miss. I don't know if the I remember hearing the jingle for it. I don't know if the pop-up thing is broken. Anyway, though, if that person around, I appreciate the follow over there on Twitch. Speaking of Twitch, what I will do before I pack it in here is try one thing, which is I think I have in here a zero. Stuff. No. This one's on the old API. I'm not gonna be able to use this right now, actually. Okay. All right. Sneak peek. As you could probably tell what's going on is I have also a Twitch bot here which will react to commands inside of the Twitch chat while it's running. When I run it, we are going to have the Twitch chat here and we can this command. Name is the out, and so I was starting to work on a couple animation neopixels. These would actually interface back with the API that we're working on. So eventually I'll have it set up to where you can set the colors on the pixels or you can set the animations and stuff from commands inside of the Twitch chat there. Another interesting kind of extension of the HTTP API. I'm excited to get the API all the way fleshed out to where the functionality I want is there, published, and get it out there and see if anybody else comes along that's interested in using it as kind of a generic RGB remote control for whatever they want. But I think I'm going to call it a night now with that. So thank you everybody for watching. I hope everyone has a good rest of your evening, and I will catch you all next time. I'll be around tomorrow evening for deep dive, but I will not be around on Saturday though. So deep dive tomorrow evening, but no Saturday stream this week for anybody watching this. Just a heads up. So I'll see you around. Have